Utopia, that good place, a hope, a dream, always tantalisingly just out of reach. Utopia has been imagined 1,000 different ways. Yet when people try to build utopia, they struggle and very often fail. I want to explore why. We'll encounter experimental communities searching for greater meaning in life, utopian ideologies and plans for the masses that didn't leave space for the individual, and utopian architects with the faith that humanity's lot can be improved through better design.
To practice architecture, you're planning for the future. You're looking far ahead.
This is about how utopias either adapt or else they crumble. It's about the clash of grand utopian visions and very human flaws. Our craving for community versus our desire to break free. It's about what happens when you dare to turn utopian dreams into reality. In rural Virginia, an eco-commune has become one of America's longest enduring experimental communities. Over 50 years, Twin Oaks has learned to adapt, to balance the needs of the group versus the individual. Like monks and Shakers before them, the 106 people who live here share everything: food, housing, and in Twin Oaks' case, childcare, and sometimes sexual partners. Unlike the old religious utopias, the founding principles at Twin Oaks were secular and highly rational. The psychologist B.F. Skinner is remembered today for his controversial experiments on pigeons. His life's work was an attempt to establish that free will is an illusion and that behaviour can be modified by systems of reward and punishment. In 1948, in his novel Walden 2, Skinner dreamed up a utopian community where people are nudged towards living in harmony, being productive and happy through behavioural engineering.
What is love?
Skinner writes,
Except another name for the use of positive reinforcement.
in 1960s America, amid anti-war protests, the beat poets and the emerging counterculture, people were dropping out to seek alternative answers to life's big questions. Psychology books setting out new ideas of the self boomed, and Skinner's behaviourist fantasy started to be read all over again.
My mom and I were living in Los Angeles, and she read Walden 2, and she just sort of looked up and said, "Does this exist? This is what I want."
In 1967, Josie's mother, Kat Kincaid, helped to found the Twin Oaks community.
She was a low-level secretary with no college, a single mom. She had no prospects for a good career. So she wrote to B.F. Skinner and said, "So where is it? I'm ready." And of course he wrote back and said, "Well, sorry, there's no such thing." Then she saw an ad in a magazine that said, "Forming Walden 2 Community." And next thing I knew, within 2 or 3 months, we had packed up all our earthly goods and come out on a train.
Well, people aren't equal. We don't pretend that they are. The idea of equality, we define it as no member envying or having cause to envy another member. Twin Oaks is one big experiment. Basically, Twin Oaks is setting out to do two things. One of them is to create a society fit for humans to live in. The other one is to create humans fit to live in that society.
What was it like in the early days? It must have been incredibly hard work.
You know, I mean, Twin Oaks ran out of money in its first 2 months, and people had to travel 50 miles to go get jobs in order to bring enough money in. A whole bunch of people are leaving because there have been interpersonal difficulties, and how is the group going to survive? And I know my mother would just worry and worry. So it wasn't love and sunshine every day, but there was so much purpose that it was absolutely engaging and inspiring.
Work isn't just an aversive thing. Work is something that people really enjoy. And
there was Walden 2, and it laid out the template. And so Twin Oaks, to this day, as far as I know, has the planner-manager system. So the planners were the official decision makers. They would ask for input from the group. There would be several meetings about it. Then they would put out the decision onto the bulletin board, and then comments would be written about that. And then if there weren't too many objections, then it would become the decision, the made decision.
It sounds dangerously like democracy actually could work.
Well, certainly in small groups.
One of those main decisions early on was to abandon behaviourism, which had soon become a dirty word amongst Twin Oaks' more hippie-ish residents. Yet, look more closely behind the laid-back exterior here today, and you find many leftovers from Skinner's systematic scientific approach.
So this is the T'Challa living room.
Paxos has lived at Twin Oaks for 19 years.
Building this space, which is where the community had its community meetings for the first 15 or 20 years in this pit. But then we got too big.
He explains the role planning and work have played in helping this utopia to both tick over and adapt to change.
One of the things I wanted to show you, this is the people finder. Every person who is in the community has a labor sheet for the work that they're doing. These labor sheets are part of the clockwork nature of the community. We have a bunch of policy. We have a bunch of systems that are in place. One of the advantages of being in a clockwork community is lunch is available at noon. Dinner is available at 6, and it takes 88 shifts to run a tofu production week. That gives us a kind of reliability and a kind of internal structure that makes doing some of the more complicated things that we do here possible.
If Twin Oaks holds something sacred, it's its labour system. This is a community with a work ethic. Each resident is required to contribute 42 hours a week, choosing tasks ranging from farming to cooking, cleaning and working the commune's thriving tofu making and hammock weaving businesses.
More of a bowl shape to the hammock.
Running alongside this communal graft, the residents use their power as a group to save money and pool resources.
So this is one of my favorite institutions inside of the community. This is Kami Clothes, or community clothes.
It's simple and surprising.
This is awesome.
Yeah. So this is a free collective clothes library where everything is sorted by type and by size, and everything up here is clean.
Paxos explains how this lending library for clothes discourages the Twin Oaks residents from seeing clothing as personal possessions.
It's nurturing the resources by not focusing on private ownership and rather on services.
It's a commons.
Yes, right. As long as the comments are not forced on people, but the comments are something that people participate in a way that works for them, then you get people saying, oh, yeah, I don't feel oppressed by the comments. I don't feel like I'm forced to share. I feel like sharing is a benefit to me.
When I fully grasp that the residents share even their clothes, it strikes me just how radical Twin Oaks is in turning normal assumptions about ownership on their head.
We're a deviant culture, right? Like in the mainstream, there's all this crime. There isn't any crime where I live. We made the choice to give everybody equal access to all of the stuff, so almost all of property crime just vanishes. We change the relationship that the people who are here have with material goods. Because we're able to use dramatically fewer cars, and because we're sharing clothes and bicycles and all of the rest of this stuff, we have a tiny carbon footprint. We also have a tiny per person annual taxable income. My taxable income for last year was $7,000. That's like 2/3 the poverty line. But I've got a sauna, and I've got a weight room, and I've got a musical instrument library. I've got 450 acres of land. I've got organic food being harvested and cooked on the site, prepared for me every day. I don't cook very well. This is a really good circumstance, right? It doesn't feel like poverty.
Twin Oaks appears to be an extraordinary alternative to consumerist, capitalist America.
Hi, can I join you?
But isn't it hard to share everything all the time? What do residents have to give up in this utopia?
So I can see a lot of the upsides, but are there any downsides that you would be prepared to share with me?
The fact that I could go decades without building long-term savings for myself if I were to ever leave is pretty nervous-making. Like there's not, the community has a really powerful safety net, but once you leave, then you're out there in the mainstream again.
Instead of dating someone and moving in, you already live with them. So relationships progress fairly quickly, and whether they're romantic or not, you're just in there with people, and you cannot avoid building relationships through conflict with lots of people. Very complicated relationships.
We are definitely interested in a better place, but I care more about fairness, sustainability, designing new culture than I do about creating something that's perfect. And if you're focused on something that's perfect, then that's taking you away from these other things that are actually much more accessible.
Twin Oaks has worked against the grain of mainstream American life for half a century now. I can see why it survives. There's lots to be said for the flexibility of work, the liberation of sharing, the plenty of beautiful land and food, and a strong internal organisation around which the community mutates and flexes. But the turnover of a fifth of residents every year shows how hard it can be to give up privacy and individual choice for life in the group. It isn't easy to fit into utopia, even for the founder's daughter. Josie Kincaid left the community as a young woman.
Twin Oaks, for me, is partly, being surrounded by love and a beautiful place, and partly having to work it out with everybody. Like when you live in a marriage, where does he put his shampoo and who drops her socks on the floor and, that sort of thing. You work out with two people. Well, here you work that out with 50 or 60 or 100 people. And for me, I just wanted a little bit more autonomy.
The utopian dream is that people can work it out. They can exist in harmony, if together they build and continually tweak the right environment and the right rules by which to live. But this is a dream that is, of course, not limited to small communities. The idea of the perfect society has long been a political.
What struck me on this journey through some of the built utopias of the world is how attractive some of the values are of those who've fought for them and lived in them. A rebuke to our atomised, fast-buck, me-first capitalist culture. Many are communities with ideas about sharing, looking out for the environment, and working together in a common endeavour. Even amid the failures, there's something noble about this striving for utopia. It seems to me to show off a better side of our humanity.